electric current. So what is current? The free flow of electron or ordered motion of electron is called electric current. So based on their nature, the conductors, the substance can be classified into three types. One is insulator, semiconductor, and conductor. So insulator is a bad conductor of electricity. It means the substance which cannot allow the current through them are called as insulators, because the concentration of electrons present in insulators are very less, that is 10 power 7 per cubic meter. This is the electron density in insulators. Semiconductors, the substance which can allow the current partially through them are called as semiconductors. So silicon, germanium, graphite. So these are the examples of semiconductors. In semiconductors, the concentration of electrons are in between insulators and conductors. That is 10 power 17 per cubic meter. So electron density in semiconductors. In conductors, the concentration of electrons are very more, that is 10 power 28 per cubic meter. So in conductors, so the substance which can allow the current efficiently through them are called as conductors. Electron concentration is more. So in conductors 10 power 28, insulators 10 power 7, and semiconductors 10 power 17. So what is current? The free flow of electron or ordered motion of electron, that is current. Now current, electric current I equal to charge by time. Important. So the unit of charge is coulomb. Unit of time is seconds. Then coulomb per second is the unit of current, that is ampere. It means ampere equal to coulomb per second. Coulomb per second is nothing but ampere. Important. When I equal to Q by T, from this relation, Q equal to IT. It means the product of current and time, that is charge. Q equal to IT. Then T equal to Q by I. Q by I. So these are further relations came from I equal to Q by T. Next, drift speed. Drift speed. The electrons in conductors moves with constant acceleration. So that speed is called as a drift speed, because in conductors positively charged region is present, that is called as lattice. Then the drift speed of electron, you know, I equal to NQAVD. You know this formula. I is current, M is number of electrons present in conductors is nothing but density of electrons. Q, charge of electron. A, cross-sectional area. And Vd is a drift speed. So from this relation we can write drift speed Vd equal to I by NQA. Then suppose it is a given conductor having some length and cross-sectional area. If I current flows through this conductor, consider that current I is 1 ampere. Number of electrons present in conductor N is 8.25 into 10 power 28 per cubic meter. So concentration of electrons present in given specimen, that specimen is like copper wire. Now cross-sectional area of wire is 10 power minus 6 meter square. And charge of electron, electron charge is 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Now, so here I, N, A, Q are substitute in this relation. We get the drift speed of electron is 0.07 millimeters per second. So this is the drift speed of electron because of lattice present in conductor. So these electrons are hit with lattice and the velocity of the electron or drift speed of the electron is this one. Next, so voltage or potential difference. Voltage or PD, potential difference. Here, V equal to W by Q. Here, W is work by Q, charge. V, voltage or potential difference. Here, the unit of work is Joule. Unit of charge is coulombs and potential difference. Now Joule by Coulomb, that is volt. So Joule by Coulomb equal to volt. Volt is nothing but Joule per Coulomb. So important unit. From V equal to W by Q, it is written as W equal to VQ. So the product of voltage and charge, that is work. Then Q equal to W by V. So before that, current is measured by using ammeter. So this is the symbol of ammeter. Voltage is measured by using voltmeter. It is voltmeter, not voltmeter. Remember, voltmeter. So voltmeter is used to measure potential difference. Next, resistance and specific resistance. So resistance. So resistance. So abstraction of free flow of electron is called as resistance. So because of lattice present in conductors, these electrons are hit with lattice. That lattice is ready to oppose the free flow of electron. So that is called as resistance. Simply we can say abstraction of free flow of electron is resistance. What are the factors influence of resistance? Important question for 1 or 2 marks. The main factors influence of resistance. One is nature of metal. Second one, effect of temperature. Third one, length. And fourth one is cross-sectional area or area of cross-section. These are the factors influence on resistance. So what is the relation between length and resistance of the wire? So the relation between R and L is resistance is directly proportional to length. As the length is increases, resistance is increases. So the relation between R and A, cross-sectional area, R is inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. So from 1 and 2, we can write R is directly proportional to L by A. Therefore, R equal to rho into L by A. Here R equal to rho into L by A. Here rho is called as specific resistance, is nothing but resistivity. Here L is length, A is cross-sectional area, R is resistance. Now from that relation we can write RA equal to rho L. Then rho equal to RA by L. So So this is the formula for rho. Rho equal to RA by L, R equal to rho into L by A. Here, rho equal to RA by L. Here, rho is specific resistance. Specific resistance. Then the specific resistance, unit of specific resistance. The specific resistance further name is resistivity. Resistivity is nothing but specific resistance. Here, the unit of resistance is ohm. Unit of specific resistance is ohm meter. So how we will get ohm meter of specific resistance? Here resistance unit is ohm, cross sectional area unit meter square, by length unit meter, then meter square and meter get cancelled. Now we get ohm meter. So this is the unit of specific resistance. Specific resistance ohm meter, resistance ohm. So what is about specific resistance? See here, you know this formula, rho equal to RA by L. The resistance of a specimen, here specimen means given metal. So whatever that metal, that is copper or aluminum or whatever that, you know, different metals are having different resistances. The resistance of a specimen having unit length and unit cross-sectional area, that is called specific resistance of given metal. So, important question, difference between resistance and specific resistance. So, abstraction of free flow of electron is called as resistance. Specific resistance, the resistance of a specimen having unit length and cross-sectional area is called as specific resistance of the given metal. Unit of resistance is ohm, specific resistance unit is ohm meter. So further name of specific resistance is resistivity. So on what factors specific resistance depends? You know, resistance depends on these four factors, but specific resistance rho only depends on these two factors. Those are nature of metal and temperature. Remember, resistance is depends upon nature of metal, temperature, length and cross-sectional area, but specific resistance depends on nature of metal and effect of temperature. Next, about Ohm's law. Ohm's law. So according to Ohm's law, at constant temperature, the current carrying through conductor is directly proportional to voltage, nothing but potential difference. So from that relation, we can write V is directly proportional to I. Then V equal to IR. Here V is voltage, I current, R resistance. Now R equal to V by I. Then I equal to V by R. So further relations from Ohm's law. Now, what is the unit of resistance? Already you know resistance unit is ohm. How we get that? Here voltage V by I, that is R. Here unit of voltage is volts by current unit is ampere. So volt per ampere, that is R. R unit is ohm. So ohm equal to volts per ampere. Ohm. Volt per ampere is nothing but ohms. So this V equal to IR, R equal to V by I equal to V by R. These are simply explained by using a triangle called magic triangle. Here this is voltage, current and resistance. First one, V equal to IR. So the product of current and resistance, that is nothing but V. Here V equal to I into R. Next, R equal to V by I. The ratio of voltage and current we get R. Then V by R, V by I, that is R. Next, I equal to V by R. the ratio of voltage and resistance we get, that is I. Then I equal to V by R. Right? Ohmic and non-ohmic conductors. Important question. Ohmic conductors. Ohmic conductors. Conductors which obey Ohm's law are called as ohmic conductors. So what are ohmic conductors? All metals are ohmic conductors. So these are obey Ohm's law. V by I is R. R is always constant for a given metal. So then the substance which can obey Ohm's law are called as ohmic conductors. All metals are the examples of ohmic conductors. So ohmic conductor is nothing but linear conductor. So in linear conductors, this is voltage current. So here we get in ohmic conductors, the graphical representation is like this. Linear ohmic conductors, nothing but linear conductors. Next, non-ohmic conductors. Non-ohmic conductors. So conductors which are not to obey Ohm's law are called as non-ohmic conductors. So what are non-ohmic conductors? So semi-metals are nothing but metalloids. So silicon, germanium, so graphite, so etc. Suppose diodes and transistors are used. Silicon, germanium, graphites are used to making of diodes and transistors. These diodes and transistors are used in electronic appliances like TV, computer display tubes. This is the symbol of diode. So PN junction diode. So this is the symbol of transistor. So transistor. So in this transistor, this is a base, emitter, collector. So transistors and diodes. These are prepared by semiconductors. So diodes and transistors are also non-ohmic conductors. So non-ohmic conductors are not obey Ohm's law. So these non-ohmic conductors are nothing but non-linear conductors. The graphical representation for non-ohmic conductors like this. So this is non-linear conductor. In non-ohmic conductors, V by I equal to R. This R is not constant. So because it is non-ohmic, nothing but non-linear conductor. Next, what happens when resistors are connected in series? Series combination of resistors. Series combination. Suppose, this is the symbol of resistance, a resistor. So it is the symbol of rheostat. This rheostat is used to maximize or minimize the magnitude of current. So this is the symbol of resistance. Suppose if two resistors are connected in series, this is one of the resistor R1, first resistor resistance R1 and second one is R2. Now these two resistors are connected in series. The equivalent resistance, are equal to R1 plus R2. In series combination of resistors, same current is passed through the circuit and voltage is different. Remember, same current in entire circuit, but voltage is different. Suppose if three resistors are connected in series, the equivalent resistance are, this is R1, R2, R3. Now R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Like this, number of resistors are connected in series. Now the resistors connected in series, number of resistors, that is NR. RS equal to N into R. This is series connection of resistors. Now parallel connection of resistance. Parallel. If two resistors are connected in parallel, see here, These are the two resistors. Resistance R1, second one is R2. These two are connected in parallel. Important. In parallel connection, current is divided and voltage is same. Suppose I current is divided like I1 and I2. This I1 through R1, I2 through R2. So in parallel combination of resistors, current is different, voltage is same. So here two resistors are connected in parallel, then the effective resistance or equivalent resistance is 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Or it is written as here R1, R2 and this is R2 plus R1. What is that? 1 by R. Then R equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. This is the effective resistance when two resistors are connected in parallel. Suppose three resistors are connected in parallel, what happens? So this is one more resistor of resistance. So this is R1, R2, R3 now. Now current I is divided into I1, I2 and this one is I3 now. Right? So current is divided at R1, R2, R3. Now three resistors are connected in parallel. Now 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. R, so equivalent resistance R equal to R1, R2, R3 by R1, R2 plus R2, R3 plus R3, R1. So this is the effective or equivalent resistance when three resistors are connected in parallel. R1, R2, R3 by R1, R2 plus R2, R3 plus R3, R1. Remember, very important. Suppose number of resistors are connected in parallel. So if number of resistors are connected in parallel, now resistors connected in parallel are P equal to R by N. Number of resistors connected in series NR, N into R. Number of resistors are connected in parallel R by N. Next, power. So what is power? You know, the rate of doing work is called as power. Here, power P equal to W by T. Here, W means work by time. So unit of work is joule, by time unit is second. Joule per second, this is power. Power unit is watt. W-A-T-T, watt. So joule per second is called watt. Watt is nothing but joule per second. The rate of doing work is called as power. The rate of doing electric work is called as electric power. Now, the relation between power, voltage and current, you know, that is P equal to VI. The product of voltage and current, we get the power. P equal to VI. You know, as per Ohm's law, V equal to IR. Right? Now, instead of we substitute IR, we get power P equal to IR into I. Then I square R. This is P equal to I square R. One more formula of power. But as per Ohm's law, V equal to IR, then I equal to V by R. Substitute instead of I, V by R. Then P equal to V by R whole square into R. Then V square by R square into R get cancelled. Then V square by R. P equal to V square by R. So important. Here work and time are given. This is the formula of power. If Current and resistance are given to find power. Voltage and current are given to find power. Voltage and resistors are given. P equal to V square by R. So these all formulas are very, very important. If voltage is given and R is given, then we find P, power. So important problem is there based on this formula. P equal to V square by R. Now, let us going to discuss about Kirchhoff's laws. So these are important laws. You know, as per Ohm's law, V equal to IR. Suppose we want to find current I equal to V by R. The unit of resistance is ohm, you know. 1 kilo ohm, this is the symbol of ohm. 1 kilo ohm equal to 10 power 3 ohms. 1 mega ohm equal to 10 power 6 ohms. 1 kilo ohm, 1 mega ohm. So, symbol of unit of resistance is ohm, ohm symbol it is. Based on Ohm's law, we can find current. How? The ratio of voltage and resistance we get current. But by using these laws, by using these Kirchhoff laws, we can determine current easily. In any DC circuit that contains large number of resistors and batteries. So first law. So Kirchhoff's first law. So first law is nothing but junction law. So junction law is nothing but current law. So junction law or current law or conservation of charge. Important. First law, current law, conservation of charge is nothing but junction law. Suppose it is the junction. Consider this point is a junction called O. See here. So these are the metals or conductors or nothing but resistors. Now these all are connected at junction O. Here I1 current entering towards the junction. This is I2. This current is leave from the junction. I3 is enter to the junction. I4 is away from the junction. According to this junction law, the sum of currents entering the junction is equal to sum of currents leave from the junction. It means there is no current resides at the junction. So how much amount of the current is entering into the junction? Same amount of current is leave from the junction. So there is no current resides at the junction. So because the sigma I equal to 0, no current resides at the junction. How? Suppose, as per sign conventions, as current entering the junction is taken as positive sign, current leave from the junction taken as negative sign. Right? So from this diagram, here I1 enter to the junction. So plus I1. I2 is leave from the junction, minus I2. I3 is enter to the junction, plus I3. I4 is away from the junction, minus I4, that equal to 0. See here, I1, I3, these two are positive signs. So because I1 plus I3 is equal to I2 plus I4. So I1 and I3 are interior currents. I2 and I4 are exterior currents. These two currents are entering to the junction and these two currents are leave from the junction. Then the sum of these two currents is equal to sum of currents leave from the junction. Right? Now, so another manner we can write this one also. Same manner it is a junction. This is the resistor of its resistance R1. Second one, resistance R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. Right? Now, I1 current enter to the junction. This is I2 is leave from the junction. I3 enter to the junction. I4 away from the junction. I5 interior. So entering the junction. So I6 away from the junction. So out of all these currents, I1, I3, I5 are entering to the junction. I2, I4 and I6 leave from the junction. So tell me, by applying sign conventions, so I1, this is entering to the junction. So plus I1, I2 is leave from the junction, minus I2, I3 is towards the junction, plus I3, I4 is away from the junction, minus I4, I5, so entering, plus I5, so I6 plus I6, that equal to 0. Here positive signs I1, I3, I5. Then I1 plus I3 plus I5 equal to I2 plus I4 plus I6. So out of these 6, I1, I3, I5 are entering to the junction. I2, I4, I6 are away from the junction. So there is no current resides at the junction. So this is called as current law or junction law, is nothing but conservation of charge. Now go for loop law, second law, most important. So second law, loop law or voltage law is nothing but conservation of energy. So loop law, so voltage law or conservation of energy. So as per that relation, sigma V equal to 0. Here we use some sign conventions, right? We get loop law easily, so by using these sign conventions. So EMF, electromotive force. See here, this is a battery positive and negative terminals. While we go from battery positive terminal to negative terminal, electromotive force is taken as battery positive to negative terminal. So we can take negative sign. Electromotive force is taken as negative sign while we go from battery positive to negative. Suppose while we go from negative terminal to positive terminal, this is negative and it is positive terminal. So the electromotive force is taken as positive sign. Here negative terminal to positive, then electromotive force is taken as positive. Here it is negative sign. Now what about voltage? So voltage. Here this is the resistor R. Now current passed through the resistor R. You know, as per Ohm's law, V equal to IR. The product of current and resistance is called voltage. Then while we go is in the direction of current. See here, is in the direction of current taken as negative sign. Same direction of current in the circuit, voltage can be taken as a negative sign. Opposite direction of the current can be taken as positive sign. This is a resistor, so current. Now while we go opposite to the direction of current taken as positive sign, voltage can be taken as positive, right? Now these sign conventions are applied in a closed loop, we get easily the loop law. So what is about loop law? According to this loop law, the algebraic sum of increasing and decreasing potential difference across any closed loop is zero. That loop consists of large number of batteries and resistors. So observe this loop. In this loop, see here, so this is the resistor of its resistance R1 and battery, it is voltage V1. Now we can connect one more battery, so that is V2, resistance is R2. Next, here one of the resistor is connected, only resistor of its resistance is R3. Now, so this is the current I1, so it is current I2. Now this I1 and I2 enter through R3, I1 plus I2. So it is a closed loop. So in this closed loop, see here, this is the point A, consider B, C, D, E, F. Right? Now, in first loop, like AC, D, B, A. While we start from A and end with A, AC, D, B, A. So apply these sign conventions from loop AC, DBA. AC, DBA. So as per Ohm's law, V equal to IR, then V1 equal to I1 R1, V2 equal to I2 R2, product of current and resistance. V2 equal to I2 into R2. Right? See here, from A to C. Here, while we go from battery positive terminal to negative terminal, battery plus to negative taken as a negative sign, what is that? V2 minus V2. Here this V2 is the product of these two, I2 and R2. Here our direction is opposite to the direction of current. Opposite to the direction of current, you know, opposite to the direction of current, positive sign, plus. So I2 R2. I2 R2. Next, from A to C, C to D, then D to B. So observe here from this, we are in the direction of current, same direction of current, same direction. Same direction means minus, you know, the product of I1 and R1 is called V1. So I1 into R1, same direction. So because minus I1 R1. I1 R1. And here we will go from negative terminal to positive terminal. So plus positive. What is that? V1. So that is the ending point, 0. Minus V2 plus I2 R2 minus I1 R1 plus V1 equal to 0. So the algebraic sum of increasing and decreasing potential difference across any closed loop is 0. Next, second loop, E, F, D, C, E. From loop EF, DCE, EF, DCE. See here, this I1, I2 passed through R3. You know, the product of I1, the product of current and resistance is voltage. Here, same direction of current, same direction. So because minus I1 plus I2 into R3 here, right? From D to C, same direction of current. Same direction of current is taken as a negative sign. I2 into R2. I2 into R2. I2 R2. Here, battery negative terminal to positive terminal. Then, what is that? V2. So, and come towards the point E that equal to 0. Then, it is written as minus I1 into R3 minus I2 R3 minus I2 R2 plus V2 that equal to 0. Next, one more loop. E, F, B, A, E. Total loop. From E to E. E, F, B, A, E. From loop E, F, B, A, E. See here, E to F. Same direction of current, negative sign. Minus I1 plus I2 into R3, right? F to B, same direction of current, same direction. So minus I1 into R1. So here we move from negative to positive plus, what is that? V1, and we will reach the point E, then that equal to 0. Then it is written as minus I1 R3 minus I2 R3 minus I1 R1 plus V1 equal to 0. So this is about loop law. Most important question for 4 marks. Okay, so junction law, loop law. Junction law is nothing but conservation of charge, or current law. Loop law is nothing but the conservation of energy, otherwise called as voltage law. So important definitions on this circuit diagram also. Next one. Sign conventions, most important, remember. So electromotive force is taken as a negative while we go from battery positive terminal to negative terminal. Same electromotive force is taken as positive while we go from negative terminal to positive terminal. Voltage is taken as, in the direction of current is taken as a negative sign. Opposite to the direction of current is taken as positive sign. So remember these sign conventions, we get easily loop law. Next one.